Stats are going to be from the last meeting in November all the way through until now. So obviously the numbers are going to be a little bit higher. And we also see numbers that are a little bit higher because of the holidays. People are, not in school. And so sometimes there's a little bit higher, but overall, looking at the stats, still really not bad. I did see an uptick in auto thefts, I think, compared to what they were. And remember how we always talk about the vehicles that are recovered from other agencies here. So we'll start with the more of the violent crimes. Aggravated assaults, there were 6. Over the course of about 2.5 months. Aggravated batteries, there were 5. There was an armed robbery. There was only 1. There's 6 auto thefts, which I think that's kind of on par, about 2 to 3 a month. I think it's kind of what I've been reporting. So we're talking 2.5 months. 3 commercial burglaries and 10 residential burglaries. I think that's probably the biggest uptick that I noted.
Okay.
I saw that there were like 3 of them, and 3 of them were to like 3 vacant houses right next to each other. So, there was 5 vehicle burglaries, and you can factor that over the course of 2.5 months. It's really not that bad. And then there's 1 carjacking. It turned out to be not really a carjacking, but it was reported as such.
Okay.
And then the motor vehicle recoveries for outside agencies, there were 7. So I think that we were in the area of like maybe 2 a month throughout probably the past 6 months, 7 months, something like that. And so 7 over the course of 2.5 is a slight uptick. But also a lot of people were out of school, and you can kind of factor that in. What we've been doing is we had 32 citizen contacts. That means we stopped and talked to 32 people, 12 directed patrols, 11 park walk and talks, which I kind of explained to you guys. It's kind of similar to directed patrols. Get out, talk to the community, and whether it's here at Giles Park or it's another location. And then as far as traffic stops go, I'm going to include this because I think that the traffic stops are way higher because they've been doing the e-bike operation.
Okay.
They've been doing up and down 34th Street because really I think that we're trying to get the word out that, hey, if you're on one of these new e-bikes, they go 35 miles an hour. Some people aren't wearing helmets, everything else, and I mean, they ride on the sidewalks and they ride on the streets, injured in that. So I think that that's why you're going to see like an uptick of traffic stops. So there are 116 traffic stops in those 2.5 months. I know for a fact a lot of them occurred along 34th Street, and that's really where they were trying to enforce the e-bikes.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I walk, I have to be careful because I'm on those e-bikes and they'll.
Yeah, and they go fast. Some go 35 miles an hour.
Put that in the
40
middle
miles
so
an hour.
I
It's
think-
just crazy.
Just put it in the middle.
So yeah, and that's kind of citywide, to be honest, no matter whether we're here or even out like far west part of the city, like Jungle Pond and stuff like that. We were doing stuff out there with the e-bikes because there are so many complaints of people getting hit on the e-bikes. So I think that's why you see the uptick in traffic stops. Anybody have any questions?
I got a couple of questions. How about 49th Street? Did you get any of those stops along?
Yeah, some are on 49th Street too, but a lot of traffic stops are on 49th Street, and I think when I go over to Fusion 49, that's what I really report. You
Okay.
see, like all those numbers really broken down. So, but because Giles Park is 34th Street to 49th Street, you're getting all of those. So
Okay.
The number should be less.
Sure,
You know,
sure.
but yeah,
Okay.
they're occurring throughout the city.
Okay. And then the other question I had, when you mentioned the auto thefts, usually you'll report how many of them had the keys in it.
Yeah, the thing is now is that as far as I know, all of these have the keys. We aren't seeing when the Kias have the ignitions. Because the Kia started getting ignition punch like way back in the day when Chrysler products got on punch.
Yeah.
We aren't having as many of those.
Okay.
But yeah, so I think keys are being left in the car.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember like we would have, 3, auto thefts and all 3 have the keys in them. So,
Yeah.
so it's like opportunities, not, people just,
Bro, I completely agree, and I can remember, so I was all theft effective like when it was really crazy.
Yeah.
I would have District 2, which is basically north side, and I would have 90 to 100 cases a month.
Yeah.
Of thefts. And the vast majority were leaving their keys in the car. So
Right.
I think the public has done a lot better job
Okay.
with that.
Okay, that's good. I just wanted to have that so we can
What's
record it.
actually an aggravated assault?
Okay, so an aggravated assault could be, I'll just give an example of a gun. Let's say a gun, you point it at somebody and you're threatening to do something and you have the ability to do that. And it puts the victim in well-founded fear, like of their, for their lives. So that's what that is. It could be a stick. I'm threatening you with a stick. It could be any kind of weapon, things like that. A simple assault would be like, hey, I'm gonna kick your butt, and this person feels like I have, stronger language than that, but they have that ability. So the aggravating portion of that is because they have a weapon.
Oh,
So it could be hammer, could be
Anything.
anything, right?
Wow.
That could be considered weapon.
How is that aligned with, do they still have the stand your ground laws and all that stuff?
Oh, yeah, I mean.
So that kind of aligns with if you feel, because you said if you feel threatened.
Yeah, I mean, Florida went to open carry, so yeah, I mean, like, we haven't been having any issues with that. But yeah, it's still, none of that has changed, you can protect yourself.
I'm confused. So, I know I've been approached so many times, and I'm walking, and I said, just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. I won't have nothing to do with you. Come back again. And then they put their hands on you. I said, leave me alone. And I'm already a piper. You see me straight, I'm piping.
so that
I
would
pull my
be,
gun out on them, that they come up on me. I'm wrong? Is that what you're telling me? Because I'm protecting
No,
myself.
that's not what I said at all.
Okay.
no, so,
Okay.
so I'm
Maybe
thinking,
I misunderstood it, but, hold on.
I'm thinking when she say with the hands gesture and whatnot, that's a simple. But if she pull her weapon, that's aggravated, because when you pull your weapon, more than likely you better use it, pretty much. If you're not using it and you saying what have you, then that's like an aggravated assault, right?
An aggravated assault would be, okay, you can take out the part of you walking down the trail and somebody coming up to you and then putting your hands on you. Somebody comes up to you and put your hands on you, you can protect yourself.
But what if somebody's sitting, what if you walking in an area where they're isolated, and a person is sitting over there, you see that person, and they approaching you each time you coming around the trail?
Well, what I would do is I would call us.
Yeah.
For sure, call us.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
But I'm saying in that decision, there's not a blanket answer for that situation. The answer would be you, how do you feel? Are you in fear? As this person, you feel that this person is gonna hurt you and they're putting their hands on you. Each individual has to make that decision. And then you explain it.
She just brought up a question I have. How safe is the Pinellas Trail? I see people ride their bikes, e-bikes, and I do walk it myself. But have there been any reports recently, about anything going on the trails?
So no, not recently, but historically, yes, there have been things that have happened. I mean, I've been here, I can speak because I can say historically, I've been here 17 years. So yeah, I've seen where there were targeted trail robberies, where people would be sitting on the trail waiting for people to come by and they would rob them. I'm pretty sure that all you guys know about that. I'm not saying that that's occurring now, because it's not. But yeah, I mean, my belief is that, if you're out on the trail and it's after dark and things like that, I mean, that's just not, that's not good personal protection.
And y'all have cameras on the trail, right? In certain areas.
Yeah, we don't control them. I know that in certain areas they do, but it's not, the city doesn't do that.
Gotcha.
That won't help you get hurt.
You gotta have some.
I don't, no, I don't, because the traffic stops don't show up as like, they're not a police report. So like, I have no database.
Let me bring this back in because I want to make sure that we're capturing all of the questions and commentary. And I heard a question from Jamie to Officer Bletch, and I would like to hear the question and the answer, please.
I was asking, out of the 116 stops that they made over the course of time, is there a breakdown on which one is e-bikes versus, people on regular bikes or cars? he said.
Okay,
So I don't have access to that, like I don't have, when I pull these stats up, there's not a police report taken with a traffic stop. So it's like a communication center call, like that would be a communication center call, and I don't have the access to that on the stat map. But, yeah, like I know that the increase is because they have been doing a lot of the e-bike enforcement.
okay,
And that's honestly, it's citywide.
okay.
It's- Whether it's out in Jungle Prada here, 34th Street, 49th Street, District 2, it's really been happening everywhere.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Officer Bletch? Thank you, sir. All right, next update, we'll hear from Sanitation Department.
Giving it to Adrian because I've been on vacation.
I was on vacation too.
Oh, okay. That's why my garbage haven't been dumped in 2 months. No.
We don't have anything at the moment, but any questions, concerns, collection wise, recycle wise, feel free to ask.
Any questions for
I
sanitation?
know, I do, and I know that and thank you guys, because you did send out a schedule. Like yesterday was the holiday, so we set it out today thinking it was coming, so when there's a holiday, you don't make up for that day, you just go to the next.
We definitely make up for it. So with everyone being off yesterday, that Tuesday collection, that Monday collection turned into Tuesday. So Tuesday collection will go tomorrow.
Okay, so,
So
okay,
everything just bumps back a day.
okay,
Okay,
All righty. If you ever have any concerns or questions about it, you can always go to the City of St. Pete.org website,
and it'll show,
get trash collection, type in your address, and it'll give you your collection schedule with holidays and everything.
okay.
okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So let me ask you a question, you guys with the city, do the city covers the trail? Who covers the trail?
Well, it all depends on what falls within that map.
Sorry about
If anything, trail wise, we probably would have to get codes involved. But that's gonna be a little bit out of our reach as far as where things land.
Okay, so I need to call code.
Yeah, I would definitely call code.
The reason I'm asking because I done brought it up so many times, someone's gonna really get hurt.
What are you seeing on
On
the
the
trail?
trail, they do not have it, they don't have it marked anymore, they just got arrows. They used to have a walking area, a walking
Okay.
area,
So-
and a bike.
Yeah, so Ms. Yvette, that wouldn't be sanitation.
Oh, it's only code.
No,
Yeah.
that's not, that's not closed, that's county.
Who?
County.
Oh,
So it's
county.
that's
I know
not-
it's-
Yeah, it's the sanitation department
Okay,
there.
okay.
Okay,
She's not here.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
I just wanted to do two things. One, pay you compliment because I see the guys out there during the day since I'm retired and they're working hard and you're doing a real good job.
Thank you.
And you're right on it on the see-click fix. You really are when people are dumping or leaving furniture. So that's really nice to help all our neighbors, our neighborhood look better. The other thing though, and I know this might not have to do with you, but I'm going through a second year of picking up 80 of these off the streets. Okay, and I've seen the guy deliver them. He drops them in the gutter part of the street. So when it rains, it's going into our sewers. I also shared this with Gulfport because Gulfport was having the same problem and they called the owners and they put an ordinance saying that they couldn't do that anymore.
Right.
It's different if they're going to deliver it into your porch or your mailbox. But this is really, this ink and everything is going right into our water supply with the plastic. So, 70 of these I picked up just in the last couple of days, all from the gutter, not one from someone's property on the gutter. So I don't know who we can make aware of this. I tried to bring it up last year. It didn't really go anywhere. But I'm glad to see Gulfport did an ordinance about it. It would be nice that this owner, because I even called. I called the owners last year. I called Publix, which was a big advertiser in it. And Publix said they had nothing to do with it. The people who published it said they have nothing to do with it. You know, it's their delivery. I said, but you pay them to deliver. So this is very much of a pollution issue and, you know, people complain about flooding. Well, this is one reason why you have flooding
Right.
and bad water.
As far as who to reach out to in regards to that, I really couldn't tell you. Sanitation really deals with more of the trash collection.
Yes.
As well as bulk items. That will be what we call, litter.
Yeah,
So a lot of times we leave us to the residents, I know things fall out of the trash can, things go down the street, kind of leave it up to the property owners to kind of
sure.
grab that stuff and dispose of it, as
Yeah.
they see.
But they're being delivered in the gutter. I just want to let you know.
No, it's
They're being
good.
delivered, right? The guy just drops them out of his car window. That's all he does. And
We
goes
do-
to the next one.
We do, and I want to pause and acknowledge, we do have our District 7 City Council member here. He's actually going to give an update as well. Thank you for
Wonderful.
being here.
You may have this one because all the other ones are in the garbage for sanitation.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you for your
I
question.
don't know what else to do with them.
Ms.
Thank you.
Alita has a question.
One more question. When trash, who do we call when, the garbage man goes down and trash falls out the truck? And they keep going. They just leave it in the middle of the
So let me
road
ask
and
you
keep
this,
going.
are you on an alley or are you on a curb?
I'm on the street.
Okay, so anytime something falls out, it's gonna be once again your responsibility to make sure that it goes back. It goes back into the container. So anytime that can comes to the curb or the containers are utilized in the alley, that lid should be pretty much closed. That's at capacity. This is why I asked you, were you on an alley? Because anytime you're on an alley, you can go to the next container. Now, if you're accumulating more trash than what you have at that moment, we can always offer you an additional container.
Okay, maybe I didn't answer the question.
Okay.
It wasn't my
I got
garbage.
it.
It was,
So if you see something fall off the truck while the truck is driving down the
exactly.
street, contact sanitation.
Okay,
Okay,
We do
so-
have a
That's what
maintenance
I
crew
was
that
sorry, I
will come out and
misunderstood.
clean that up.
okay.
Okay.
Because they just kept going and trash was
And a
all
lot
over
of
the
times,
road.
they honestly, they
They
don't
don't
even
know.
see it. Yeah,
Okay.
this truck is so big, so it's something that's flying off the back. They don't
Okay.
see it.
Okay, my apologies. I heard
That's
the question
okay.
wrong.
It's all right. All right, good stuff. Any other questions for the sanitation department? All right, hearing none. We'll now hear an update from our city council member, Councilmember Givens.
Thank you so much, Brother President, and good evening, everybody. Thank
Good
you all
evening.
for having me. I apologize for my tiredness. But it's good to be back. It's been a while since we were all together. At least I was with you all, so I'm glad to be back here. I'll kind of hush and answer some questions, starting with your question, ma'am.
Oh, thank you.
You brought that up, and I'm glad you did, because that's actually been a huge topic at City Hall. It's happening a lot down on beaches, and it's also happening down here on Shore Acres and also on Tropical Shores. And so all of those folks are up in a frenzy, and they complain, and when they start complaining, they pay attention. And so there actually was an ordinance that was passed, and they have gone before the nuisance and abatement board. But if it's still occurring, if you don't mind, give me your address. And I'll
Sure.
follow up and find
The whole
out.
block,
I got you.
the whole block, 2 blocks.
But if you don't mind sharing your address,
Not at all.
when we're done, I'll make sure we find out.
Thank
what's
you.
going
That's
on.
good news.
Can't promise that they'll stop, but at least they can be fined,
Right,
right?
and that's fast work. Wow, I love it.
So you said there is an ordinance that was passed to,
Yeah, there's
Okay.
always, there's always.
I know
been an
golf
ordinance.
courses.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah. But were there any questions for me? Did you all have any direct questions, Brother Tavares? Were you raising your hand or just straight? You was itching.
If it was an auction, you would have just bought it, man.
No, man, thank you. Good work you doing, man. So far, so good. I do have something to talk to you about, but it don't really have nothing to do with child support. And so I try to keep it between me and you. So,
You know, my number's always the same, so please give me a call. We can talk after this if you want to. Definitely. Anybody, do y'all have any questions? If not, I'll just kind of go down a list, but I wanted to give y'all an opportunity to ask your questions before I took up the time talking.
No, I think when you go down your list, it'll probably prompt some questions.
Not a problem, not a problem. So real quick, I'll start with the envy. Yes, in God's backyard. So that's real big because that helps a lot of folks when it comes to affordable housing. And when I ran for city council, that was something that I talked about. I wanted to move the needle on and make a difference when it came to that. So I'll be honest, I have not had much support from the mayor's administration when it comes to getting a lot of things done. So I've kind of just gone rogue and stepped out of my and that includes with this, finding creative ways to address the affordable housing crisis. I'm working with the private sector. We're talking to different corporations, different entities, institutions, as well as the faith-based community. I'm talking to a lot of the churches because let's be honest, y'all, land is not growing on trees. So our partners in this new law that's passed, one good thing that may have come out of Tallahassee that past session, was this law, allowing for us to build housing on adjacent property next to faith-based or nonprofits, okay? So what that does here in St. Pete is it opens up a plethora of opportunities. Having conversations right now, actually where I just left, Mount Zion Primitive, Pastor Murray, right down the street on 37th and 18th, 22nd. And then also down the road on 30th Avenue North and 28th Street, we have Pastor Oscar Banks at Palm Lake Community Church,
Yeah.
who's actually the first person in the state to take advantage of this new law. They're getting ready to erect 80 new housing units.
Wow.
They're breaking ground next month. So again, it's already being done, but you got places like Friendship, you got pastors like Mount Zion and Pastor Murphy who are saying, what can we do? How can we help? And I will be honest, when I went to the mayor's administration last year, they said, oh, we'll get to it. We'll talk about it. It ain't happening. So I want to get to it and I want to talk about it. And I need y'all at the table too. So there will be a roundtable conversation. There ain't gonna be no roundtable. I'm sure it'll be a big church filled with people, hopefully, and I need y'all to get there. We're gonna be talking about this. We're gonna be talking about this very issue, affordable housing. And I think it's possible if we work together. So if you have a church that may be willing to engage in the conversation. At this roundtable, we're gonna have contractors in the room, developers in the room, realtors in the room, and hopefully, God willing, some city staffers in the room. Because that's what I've been asking for. Can we get zoning and regulations? Can we get them in the room? Can we have the CRA folks in the room? Can we hopefully get permitting in the room? Again, because if the faith-based partners or nonprofits are to get engaged and actually do something, they gotta know where to find the help. We gotta offer the guidance, and they're gonna be looking to the city to get that help. And I understand, yes, there's some new laws. Yes, we gotta pass some ordinances. People that are doing it, it's possible. And so as long as you have partners who are willing to engage, I wanna help. So I will be having that conversation on March 24th. So I'll send that information out. Yes, Mr.
So I understand that by us all, you want us to be there and listen to our voices, but how can we stop these private, contractors coming in from buildings and taking the land and raising the rent or
The taxes and all
the
that.
taxes and all of that, because it don't, I won't say it don't matter because our voices will be heard, but my opinion, they do what they wanna do anyways. And so what they have for affordable rent for, some may not be affordable rent for all. So when you mention affordable rent, who is it for? Because rent today is literally too much. It's really too much. You have to work about 4 jobs just to pay your rent. You have to have about multiple, roommates
Yeah.
to help pay your rent and your bills. And it's so sad because, you know, I know my baby girl, she want her own place. And she's not a people person. So, but I'm real deal. But, you know, but it's hard. So by us being there, I want to say, will it really make a change? Will it, because if the private people who's coming in from different places and doing all of this, you know what I'm saying? And the people that's here, they don't move them so far out, you know, they offer them a little chunk change to sell their property and they move people so far out and they keep taking over people's property and it's ridiculous.
Wholeheartedly, and that's why I want to have this conversation. We can't force the private sector to do what we know we need to do, which is, again, what's affordable for some ain't affordable for everybody. So I call it attainable housing because everybody should be able to afford to have something decent, quality.
So my thing of this, instead of hiring private sectors, hire people that's here that's building like a Freddie Center. Like certain people that's here that actually, that live here and have these these companies, and that would be able to give people affordable rent so they can live and stay in their own neighborhoods where they grew up, where they can raise their children and their grandchildren.
If you don't mind me asking, who's your employer?
Addington, now they just sold it themselves, so yeah.
Wow.
That's
They just sold
happening.
that, no, it's 54.
Okay, so to your point, corporations who own those companies who employ these working class families that live in this city should make sure that their employees have somewhere where they can live, work, and play, right? You shouldn't have to commute and go back and forth, pay an arm and a leg, work 2 jobs just to afford to live where you live, where you lay your head. So that's why I'm asking for I'm asking these companies, these corporations, again, that are buying up the properties here, listen, if you're gonna buy in St. Pete, make it attainable for the people who are working and living in St. Pete. So I'm asking those corporations, those companies that you see throwing up all these buildings with their trademarks on there, what are you willing to put down financial now, money? What kind of resources are you willing to put down to help? Because they don't have, let's just be honest, the land. They threw up these buildings that they're making money out of. They don't have the land. So can we work with the people who do, the churches, to now build housing that's going to be attainable, affordable for these working class families, the people who work for places like Addington, Bayfront, Northside, St. Pete General. Again, I don't have all the solutions and all the answers, but that's why I want to get all of y'all in the room, everybody, including those corporations, those developers, those contractors, city staff in the room, so we can talk about what do we got to do to make it happen. Because obviously Palm Lake is doing it. They're building units that are going to start at $800 and no more than $1,500 a month for 3-bedroom, 2-bathrooms. That's working class, affordable, and attainable housing. But one church can't do it alone. We need all these other churches that make money off of our families and have for generations to step up and put their money where their mouth is. Are you really serious about helping the people who go to your church? Some of them say yes, but Mr. Sean, I have approached pastors who have said no.
Well,
Thank you. That was a great question. Thank you.
You're on the right track, because if you do get any of the churches who can buy the property, then they can develop and they're non-for-profit. So that ends up being real positive. The other thing though is you do have a couple of buildings that were churches that are empty and they're not going anywhere. So that's something that the city could do as an ordinance to say, we're going to make this low-income housing. And look for bids that way to have people live in there who need.
I'm not taking up all of y'all time, but that is something else that I'm working on.
Right.
You're spot on.
But the other thing I wanted to share that this organization was doing last year, which I really liked, was that, the average house in Childs Park is now selling for $250,000.
Yeah.
So one of the things we talked about was don't sell grandma's house, right?
That's so true.
So there was a gentleman who came in and spoke to us and who was offering free classes and he wasn't selling anything. I never got that impression. And he offered free classes to say, this is how you can get a loan. You need to get your family together so that after mama passes away, you can stay in your house and keep it instead of fighting with the siblings to try to sell it, because you think $250,000 is a lot of money, but then when you have to share it amongst 3 or 4 people, there's not much left and there's no place for you to go. So those are something that the churches could do too, is say, we will help you, we will teach you what a loan means, what 4% means, why do you have to have insurance, these kind of things, so that you can develop a legacy, but you can't develop a legacy if you don't know.
Amen. I agree. And I don't want to take up too much time, but I got to answer a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So first of all, back to Mr. Sean's point, I wish I could do it here in St. Pete.
Yeah.
January 3rd, Brother John knows, it was a year in office and I felt your pain. I got your frustration because you realize how roadblocked you are, how much red tape there is at what you can do at the city level. Because the people in Tallahassee have made it almost impossible due to this thing called home rule. They have preempted us in every which way.
Wow.
We have so many rules and regulations when it comes to what we can do. That was one of the first new business items that I introduced. Sean, is how can I stop these out-of-town corporations, these conglomerates, from coming and buying up our property?
Yeah.
I tried. They
Can we do this just for time? Let's do this.
Yes.
Because let's let him get through his list, and if you can hold your questions until the end, and that way because I don't know how much more you have, and I want to make sure that you give the updates that you have. No, thank you. I don't want you to rush it, but I just want to make sure that you get through what you have.
Appreciate it. And then to answer your question, ma'am, the CRA, again, my frustrations in this position and why I need y'all to help me, because if it's just Corey in the room saying we need this and we need that, who do they see?
Just cool.
That's just Corey. It's Corey's issue then.
Yeah.
But if they see a room full of folks who say we sick and tired of being sick and tired, we are trying, we want help, we need help, then maybe it's an election year, then maybe they might pay attention, keyword maybe. But when I'm asking, where the heck is the CRA manager that's been MIA for the past 2 years? We have nobody to make sure that those dollars y'all talking about get allocated and dissipated and dispersed throughout the community. So what are they doing? Sitting there. So the CRA program that I wanted to introduce to help those home buyers, to make sure that we can help with credit forgiveness, to make sure there's more money in place for down payment assistance and closing cost assistance, to make sure that we can help with probate and lien forgiveness on those properties that belong to our grandmothers and grandfathers. We gotta have somebody in that position. I met today with the chief of staff, and so we're still working on it. 2 years later. But again, if it's just Corey asking questions, if nobody else shows up to ask the questions, you don't get any answers.
Right.
So I'm with you. I'm trying to show up, but I need a
One more
little
thing.
help. Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Yes, I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay.
Wait, one more
I
thing.
want-
I think they finna, close up a lot of schools now. By them closing up all the
Great
schools,
question.
what are they gonna do? Build houses?
Great question. So that's another great question. So I'm glad you brought that up. I actually spoke with Councilmember Edmond about this very thing because she can't do it alone. We did have meetings. They had a series of meetings last year about these school closures. Because if you don't know, long story short, attendance because of attendance, which let's be honest, a lot of attendance was due to these hurricanes and a lot of those apartments closing down. So these people had to move out of town. And so therefore the school population dwindled. And so now, as a result, they want to close these schools, which may end up turning into, like you said, some kind of apartment. If they bulldoze and knock them over, that one is up to whatever the school board decide to do. If they decide to sell it, they sell it. Or it could turn into a charter school. They could lease those out, or private school, anything that does not benefit our public school students. And so if we don't show up and fill the rooms and ask those tough questions, anything can happen. And right now they're saying, oh, don't worry about it. These teachers will have jobs. These assistants will have jobs. Not guaranteed. And these people live in our community, y'all. It may not directly impact you, but it will indirectly impact you one way or another. But again, she can't do it alone over there. I don't have any children, y'all. I don't have any kids, but I showed up to that meeting because I care about y'all kids and grandkids. And I want to make sure that they have schools, literally. I'm talking Childs Park, Campbell Park, Lakewood High School. I want to make sure they got schools to attend, the same schools we attended.
Yeah.
We got to show up.
Evan has a question.
Yes, we was talking about the nonprofits and being able to build. Can we look into maybe the neighborhood association becoming an apartment owner, right? In a lot of neighborhoods, in a lot of communities around America, the neighborhood associations run and operate the apartments, run and operate the house.
Yeah.
And we're begging and asking for housing. We're hoping a builder comes in and does it for us when we can have the resources to do it for ourselves. And we can make sure it's cheap. We can enter a relationship with the developer. There's a lot of models where this has been done successfully. And I just want to know if there's something like that that we can start looking into the future. Whether it's one of these churches, whether it's Trailhead Park, right? Whether, because they give away their land, they just gave away their whole section behind them. So why not we get that sector and build an apartment complex that we know we can make affordable?
If a church can do it, we should be able to do it.
So I've actually introduced that new business item. Yeah, you speak my brain. And this is one of the things that I learned in the last year that I could do better is communicating to constituents what I'm trying, keyword, trying to do, because let's be honest, it goes to committee, has to make it through committee, and then it has to get to council, and then it has to pass council, but it is currently sitting on the land use and transportation new business item doc. And so I'm hoping one fine day, it'll find its way up there at the top of the list so that we can start talking about it, so that staff can be assigned to it and we can explore the idea. But yes, to your point, Brother Jabbar, I brought that up. Why can't we allocate 2 lots? I said 500, between 500 to 2,000 square feet in diameter. Why can't we allocate those to nonprofits that are trying to build, right? So it may not necessarily be a church. Could be a neighborhood association, could be a fraternity or a sorority, right? That want to pull their dollars together and get into the affordable housing business, you know, because let's be honest, it is a business. So it has to be ran as such. So I think if we, again, that's why we had this conversation, bring the right people into the room so you can talk about, hey, if I did want to clue in on that, if I did want to start this myself, if this new business item finally passed, who do I need to talk to? Boom. Now we got all these folks in the room. And you ain't got to wait for the city to tell you this is who you go to get it done. You get it done yourself. But again, it's gonna take getting these folks who are on these committees to move these items up They all, Brother John knows that because I keep looking at them. I'm learning now. It has to be a priority to them. And it's funny, y'all, and I brought this up and they look at me crazy, but you learn real quick who's there for what reason.
Yeah, exactly.
And what I've learned is everybody ain't there for y'all.
I do have a question.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
No, and I know that, I think next week is the committee of the whole, where you'll be discussing budget priorities. Would you mind sharing some of the priorities that you have? Okay.
Yes, and so speaking of that, we have a budget wish list that we get to come up with. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm here tonight, is because I want to know what does Childs Park need? Because I want to make sure that you all are at the top of that wish list. But at the same time, beyond just Childs Park, what does the city need, right? What are we missing? To Brother John's point, we all sit at the table, we all get in the room, we all get to discuss what we want in the budget for 2027, next year. So this year's budget's already been set, but what do we want to see next year? There's a lot of projects that, let's just be honest, the people who were impacted in our waterfront properties that they want to see done. And I can't blame them. You know, they want to get back into their homes, resilience and sustainability. I believe in that too. But we cannot forget that a lot of homes down here in Childs Park flooded as well. So it can't just be District 2 that we focus on. We have to look citywide. So I'm gonna shut up, want to know budget wise. I think y'all know how the budget works.
Yeah.
What do you want to see?
So one of the things that I know came up, there was some conversations that have been happening around the Save Our Streets campaign. And I don't know if you've been able to meet and connect with the Dream Defenders. We just received information that there's conversations about replacing the computers in the computer lab. And I'll send this to you in a full proposal, but we don't want to just replace 4 or 5 computers. We really want to see if we can develop a neighborhood center for teen technology, comparable to the TASCO Teen Technology Center. This is actually an idea that we presented before I got on council and when I was on council, but we just haven't been able to get any traction. And so I can send you the full proposal, but we like to have a neighborhood center for teen technology. We call it a digital playground, where the youth in the community can be exposed to some of the tech opportunities. We don't demonize the way that they play, because we say that you need to go outside and play, and that's true. But there's so much opportunity in the tech space, you know, from coding, from digital photography, from content creation, and being able to have a space for them to come in where they can practice and hone some of those skills and then make transitions into the tech industry. And so that's one of the things that we would like to, and I'll send it to you formally so that you can include it in your.
Actually, why the computers in them.
Yeah.
Like, we organized and got those computers in them. We made that a computer lab.
Right.
That wasn't City of St. Peter District. Dante from St. Pete Strong.
I'll send it all in the document. We don't have to give you the whole history tonight, but we do have a proposal. And I wanted to create space for your Udonis Dream Defenders, if you want to talk about your budget. Things that you're working for.
Yeah, I know we've talked about it at other, and I have some like more flyers for folks that want to view like the proposal and everything. We've essentially like prioritized that, because when we talk to like council members and the mayor's office, a lot of folks are asking like, what are your top 1 or 2 priorities? Because there was like a list of different things based off like the feedback that we were hearing from y'all from our Books and Breakfast event, and from door knocking and canvassing and things like that. And so it seems like one of the priorities was doing outreach and letting people know about like what programs do exist. Like we were talking to some parents in the neighborhood and in St. Pete in general. It was hard for like one parent, for example, to like figure out like what programs do exist, or sometimes like the rec center may be at capacity. So what are other options? And so we were wanting to have like more community outreach to work with like neighborhood association, because I know you guys do your own outreach as well. How can we kind of like dual that? And so like the efforts not just on y'all. I know there is some people who work at the city, like there is an education and youth opportunities department. And I know there is like a community liaison that goes out. They have like their van. They mentioned when we talked to Amy Foster, for example, who works in the housing department. But are there other ways to fill those gaps? And one of the ideas that came out of that was hiring youth to do like that peer-to-peer outreach. So they get that job opportunity, and it also helps with the outreach, because the youth are going to know the best on how to market to other youth. So those are like some of the top ideas that we came out. And we've had meetings with council members and the mayor last week as well. So we're hoping that now that we're earlier in this budget season, that I think that's like the biggest thing is just like, getting the pressure, because I know a lot of times in these meetings, you hear like it's a tight budget season, we're losing funding, et cetera. So I think it's the prioritization, that's what we're trying to push forward, specifically around community outreach and like hiring youth to help with that outreach.
Sure.
So very briefly, that was a lot. So to your point, I do believe in what Dream Defenders are doing. I have taken meetings with the Dream Defenders. I've gone to Books and Breakfast with the Dream Defenders. I've spoken out in council meetings on behalf of and in favor of the Dream Defenders. I've probably been their probably most vocal supporter. We need to see more. So it's called pressure, right? And I think now the pressure has to be put on these other council members. I can't do it alone. It's a budget. That committee of the whole that he's talking about, that's where they need to feel the pressure, because they're telling me, oh, it's not a priority. Well, I just said other priorities are at the top of their agenda right now. I'm just keeping it real and being honest. I'm pushing for y'all. I'm rooting for y'all, but we got to put the pressure where it needs to be. And that's on these other people who, when I say they need the funds, they say our youth are not a priority. And there are those out in the community who are telling them the same thing. That's not a priority right now. But I agree, we need those community navigators. And there's one other thing too that you brought up, the Center for Teen Tech. I have been advocating for that. Brian Perel tell you that I have been we got a meeting that's been rescheduled, Brother John, about 3 times, but I believe it's finally scheduled for next week. And so Code Box and Code Wiz, they'll both be present for those meetings. And we were talking about how we can implement those programs within our community rec center. Starting right here, y'all, at Childs Park. I want to see programs like the Hub and ARC. I want to see them working with us. And that starts with funding as well. Because again, to your point, when we talk about funds, we don't have it all. How can we depend on these corporations that are buying up this property, saying they want to invest in the community, and they're supposed to be leaders in technology, these industry leading certified jobs? How can we get them to train our youth for those positions? It starts right here in those community rec center where those few kids are. And to your point about capacity, I mentioned that too to Mike. Mike said capacity is an issue. If you ever find a kid who needs childcare, they can't afford childcare, don't have a spot for childcare at a rec center, just let me know, please. Apparently that is not a problem. That's what I was told. So if that's an issue, y'all, I try to relay it. I write it down because again, I want to be your messenger. I want to communicate it. May not always get done because you need 5 people, get it done.
And I want to thank you again for everything that you're doing, the work that you're doing. And I also want to just flag for participants, we'll be doing a Government 101 workshop coming up on Thursday. And we can get that link out to everybody where we're going to talk about the budgeting process and then collectively come up with some recommendations that we can submit to Councilmember Gibbons Jr. and the others. And so thank you again for what you're doing. We appreciate it.
My email is always available. I get that to you. So again, we didn't talk about budget recommendations. So if y'all have some other things besides, again, what I've already identified as my priority, the Dream Defenders recommendations, please share those with me. You don't have to do it right now, but if you see money needs to be allocated some other place, please, including public safety, please let me know. We may always let you well.
What is the budget timeline? I know last year there was a meeting with city council.
Yes, well, you want to find, we have to submit our budget recommendations by the end of next month. So I need that like ASAP.
But is there like a public comment meeting that folks are?
That one, that's the first one until September.
And then there's a tentative timeline that we'll be sharing on Thursday as well, because there's like several steps in that budgeting process, and that's what we're going to talk about. So the first one is when the council members present their priorities, and then after that, there's capital improvement budget, and there's enterprise budget. So there's different steps, and they have historically been doing these budget open houses where you can actually come in and do that.
Right, in April.
But when we check the schedule, it hasn't been published yet, and so we'll be able to stay and work.
It's tough getting days, trust me, I try.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, but this hasn't been published yet. But we do
As
have,
soon as I get it, you're done, I got you.
but we do have a robust health and wellness committee update, and we want to make sure that we create space for that.
Yes.
Again, thank you, Councilman Gibbons. We're going to get into our committee updates, and tonight we're going to hear from our health and wellness committee member.
Yes, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Jabbar and I are part of the health and wellness team. And we do have, I have to stand up, I can't present. I'm so sorry.
Professional.
So the goal for us is promoting a healthy, more active and environmental conscious community through movement, wellness activities and partnership. So right now we have some wellness challenges going on. And the first wellness challenge is APH Keep It Moving Challenge. It started January 1st through, I only have a few of those, through April 12th. Okay, so we're doing that. You can still sign up. I have the QR code.
And the flag.
Okay, and we also have another challenge coming up February 1st. It's a walking challenge. FFBWW Walking Challenge, February 1st. That's where you just walk. The first prize is $50 Visa gift card. The second prize is a $25 gift card, and third prize is a $25 Visa. It's from February 1st to December 1st. So it's a long one. It's a long challenge. But really, it's good. It's good to help.
So I ain't gonna be like all of them.
Okay, and this one is a water wellness challenge. Water wellness challenge. And we're doing that from February 1st to December 1st. And how it works. The beginners start with 4 to 5 cups. Intermediate, which is me, 6 to 8 cups. Advanced, 8 to 10 cups. And the incentive is end of the year recognition, prizes, wellness giveaways. We're trying to instill healthiness. Health is wealth.
Yeah, sure.
There is a QR code for free. We don't know. But I'm telling you, I know I do. So please spread the word. Spread the word. I'm gonna get Jabari. Now you ain't on the Breakfast Club. The next thing we have is our races and walks. Okay. I have one with the QR code for I Love Collard Green 5K and Fitness Extravaganza. That's February 1st. Fitness City 5K, first, that's February 6th. That's Glow in the Park. I've already signed up. So come on, we need to join. NAMI Walk, May 16th. Dash for Diabetes. The date and time will be announced, but it's held in November. Set Aside Cancer, Breast Cancer Healthy Day Walk is October 26th. And we're doing this for physical activity, mental health, chronic disease prevention, and community connection. So I'm inviting all of you to come and join. There will be a shirt that you will be able to purchase. It will be between $20 to $25. You can wear that shirt and see, and we'll have all the supporters on the back of the shirt that we partner with. We want you to come out. We're trying to be healthy. You want to be around for your children, your grandchildren, and so on. Our monthly meetings, we have our monthly wellness walk, which is coming up for the fourth Saturday of each month. That also aligns with our health and wellness team monthly meeting that we will have at 10 o'clock. We promote movement, social connection, and accessibility for all ages. So we would need you to come. Now we're going to be talking about community cleanups. We plan for at least 4 community cleanups. Sanitation can do so much. So we, as in the community, we need to do our part. And so our first one we have scheduled is in April. April, that's for Earth Day, April 25th from 9 to 11. What I need from you is not only just volunteers, but also what are the priority areas we need to touch on that day. We don't want to just be out and just gather a little garbage, a little grocery bag or so. We want to make a effort. We want to make some kind of impact on our community. Now, what I'm really excited about is in March, our Community Sports Day we have coming up. We talked about, and it's going to be a family field day. Now, we need to vote on whether we want to have it March 14th or March 21st. Those are the 2 dates that are available for us to do it. We're gonna have field day games. We're gonna have, three-legged races, all those things you used to do in elementary school that you thought was fun. Bounce houses, family friend activities, food demonstrations. We want to bring the family together and through movement, fun, and health and education. We're going to need plenty of volunteers and vendors that we can partner with and make this a beautiful thing here in Childs Park.
It's gonna be held here.
Yes, ma'am. Now we want to address our seasoned members. I don't call them older. I call them seasoned. And so we're going to do something for the seniors, whether it's share a yoga or how to be able to do Tai Chi. We want to invite them because if we do everything for the young people, what happened to the ones that was here, the OGs of Childs Park? Okay, so we want to have those activities and resources available to them. Our cancer and awareness event will be planned later on this year. But if you have some experience in cancer awareness or survivor support, please reach out to us so that we can involve those resources and speakers. And in closing, I would like to thank you, Jabbar and I, and the other health and wellness team. Thank you for listening to us. And if there's any information you need for me to share, if I've talked a little too fast, meet me after the meeting.
I got a quick question.
Yes.
Only for Childs Park residents?
It's for anybody.
All
in
these
the- in
activities?
All these activities.
Okay.
So this is what I heard. I heard that there's a decision that needs to be made first. And I see a lot of hands. I see hands on ideas and so, knowing that the Health and Wellness Committee will be meeting, is it this Saturday?
We will meet this Saturday.
And so that we don't spend a whole lot of time ideating tonight, if you're available to participate, because I think the committee could use more members.
We definitely could.
And so if you could participate in the Health and Wellness Committee meeting, that's the space where your ideas can be
Many
like
hands
fleshed
make
out,
light
shared out.
work.
So that we're not just popcorning and throwing
Yeah.
stuff at tonight.
Yeah.
So if you have a specific question, I would like to take specific questions. And
No idea.
and if we don't have a lot of time.
So that's the meeting will be Saturday, this Saturday?
Yes.
What time?
No, so let's take specific questions, and then if we have time to ideate, then we can ideate. I don't want to invalidate our residents. But the question that the decision was whether to do it on the 14th or the 21st.
First, that's correct.
And so, and I know Kiana was here to talk about a proposal that she had around an event.
Yeah, for spring break as well, which is really similar.
Right, that's what we tried to tie that together because we want to be able to keep our youth active because as you know, an idle mind is the devil's playground. So we don't want their minds to be so idle. We want to keep them busy. We're going to kickballs and all of those
And
things.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Ms. Eva.
No, go ahead.
So this is what I would like for us to do. If we can limit our responses so that we're focused, because we all together, we don't have to sell each other on the importance and significance and why we're doing it.
Yeah.
So if we can just have a deliberative dialogue, maybe if you could do like a 30-second response, if it's a yes or no, just give us yes or no. And if we need to double click, we'll double click. But let's make the decisions that need to be made because the time is fleeting.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we go in circles and then we just like, oh yeah.
And it's going to take a lot to plan because March will be here before you know it.
And so just as a consideration, I know you said that you were looking to merge these two events. I wanted to create space for you to talk about.
So the event that I was looking at doing is, we are next, spring break takeover.
Okay.
Which is a 17 and under event, so it is for the kids, it's, family friendly. It will be color coded with the ages of the kids, so like ages 3 to 6 will be together, ages, 7 to 10, then we have our preteens and teens. We'll have a stage out there, we'll also have performers, we'll have dance contests, we'll have a TikTok, we'll do mental health, and like kind of bring it all together in a fun day for the kids to come out and do stuff. That's just like the basic, and I can't like give y'all the whole proposal.
No, so the question that was.
Oh, and I was looking at on the 14th.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the date that she was looking for was the 14th.
Okay.
What are your reactions to hearing that the 14th is this proposal? Is that something that you would be willing to collaborate
Oh,
on?
of course. But see, we also would like to have, something for the adults. So while the children are doing that, and then we have, we're gonna have kickball and hula hoops, and then we want a line dancing and
Okay.
Zumba and things for the adults, because we want to be able to think, it's not always for the kids, but that'll definitely tie in, because the children will be coming with the adults.
Gotcha. And so,
We can
so
definitely
there's
do
an
that.
opportunity to
Of
partner.
course, of course.
Sounds like maybe do you need to have additional conversation before we land on the date? Or are you able to come Saturday to the Health and Wellness?
What time?
10 o'clock.
I want to say yes.
We'll say yes. That's what you want to say.
I'm trying to go.
I hear it, I hear it.
My head right now.
So
Right.
can we think, how soon do you have to have your decision for the date?
Oh, we need to, as soon as possible, because we know, again, March will be here before you know it.
It will be.
It's already the 20th of January.
So
So,
with this weekend, can you all coordinate between now and Saturday and then land the date?
okay.
Okay. So I think that connection's made. Tashana, you have an idea? I'd like to hear it.
I was gonna say, she said an impact, not just cleaning.
Mhm.
And I was gonna say, who was it that we was with when we was painting the houses, like touching up people's houses and painting?
Mhm.
And also, we was mowing the yard and.
Adopt a
trimming
block.
the hedges and
That was
picking up
adopt
the
a block.
trash, yard.
It was a Dr. Block.
So is it a team or is it anybody that we can get that we can do something like that? That would be a good impact.
Yes. Would you be willing to help us organize that?
I don't know who to get with.
Okay, so if we get you a list, would you be willing to make those phone calls?
I'll make a phone call.
Awesome. So a contribution and a great idea is not only to do the cleanup, but to
That's
expand
right.
it, to do some home repairs. It's
Right.
actually a whole program. Ms. Robin was
Mhm.
a part of that, volunteer. And I just want to pause for a minute and reflect, because you remind me, the gentleman who organized that from the Florida Dream Center, Steve Cleveland. We were just notified that he recently passed, and so if we could just take a moment of silence to honor him and the work. Thank you. Yeah, he really put together a beautiful program and made a huge impact in the community. You were here, you know.
You mentioned a lot of things going on, which is wonderful, and I'd like to participate in them. Do you have, if I go on this, will I find your calendar so I can see what dates these happen?
Unfortunately, we haven't gotten our newsletter together, but we will, coming up. That was our really, this month when we met on the 17th, that was our
So
official,
let me pause. I want to model this,
right?
right? We don't have it right now, but we're working on it. Right?
Yes,
And
we are.
so what I can do is, but what we will do is we'll take because you have them we'll have them in the recording. We'll put them on the neighborhood association calendars. And so if you can, subscribe to the neighborhood association calendar.
I'm on it.
Okay,
The
so,
problem is I get things that are after it happens.
so it will be there. It'll be updated, following
So
this
the
meeting.
Child's Park, I'll
The
go
child,
back.
they go to the Child Park Neighborhood Association.
Okay, and then you'll have dates on there.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
yeah, you guys can just look at the calendar and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The few things I get, it's already
But we'll
happened.
have all that Saturday, right?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for the Health and Wellness Committee?
No, if you can, and come out Saturday if you can. Yeah.
I probably can't, but for the planning part, no.
Yeah.
But I'd like to come out for the activities and help with that.
Okay.
All right, thank you for that. Let's give Eva another round. of applause. And I don't know if y'all know how difficult it is when you stepping into these roles and so I appreciate that. Thank you for your leadership and willingness to lead in that way.
You're welcome.
Um,
Very compassionate about what she's
another
doing.
another committee update that we have, and this is more of a structural thing. You'll get all of this. Did everybody sign in tonight? Just want to make sure that everybody signed in because we have a lot of. So please make sure. Well,
I got you.
I think I know how to reach you. Thank you, But what we want to do is we're doing a committee activation plan. And so it's a 12-week plan because we have multiple committees and we're looking to build our capacity for the association. We've had some neighborhood strong community meetings where we've had 3 meetings up to this point where community members have told us what it takes for them to get involved and what it takes for them to stay involved. And so we want to honor what they said. They also told us, you know, why they leave, right? Like, man, look, I don't know. And so we have this data, we have this information, and we're responding to that by creating a 12-week committee activation plan that we'll be reaching out to you all with so that you can really find a place for you to come in, because everybody has ideas, everybody has things. So we're looking to have people to hold these spaces. We have 8 committees that actually need some leadership, and we're rolling them out in phases. And so we won't try and do it all at once, really managing the capacity, but we have a phased rollout for our committees. And so it'll be a 12-week activation coming out in 3 phases and really being intentional so that nobody's stretched thin. And again, I want to thank the faithful few, as we call them, because we have a small group of volunteers that are on every scene and on every set. And we want to expand that pool of volunteers and participation. So you'll see that information come forward. And then the last thing that I wanted to say, and then if we have time for open forum Q&A, we can get into that as well. But we do have an upcoming election for officers. And so the slate, and I'm sorry we weren't able to get it printed for you, but the slate of officers that we're presenting tonight that will be voted on next month at next month's meeting. For president, somebody thought it'd be a good idea for me to keep going. I accept the nomination. So for president, Brother John is on the roster. Excuse me. Vice President, Robin Wynn. Treasurer, Ms. Lolita Pitts. And then Secretary, Jamie Solomon has been nominated for secretary. And so I wanted to give space for him to talk about the nomination and put him on the spot. But just maybe share just a little bit about your background and why you thought it was important to accept the nomination.
Well, my background is I've been born and raised in St. Pete and lived most of my life in Child Park community. And I am co-chair of the NAACP Criminal Justice Committee. And, you know, we do a lot of things, you know, for the city itself, but I wanted to bring some of the impact to our association, you know, with some of the things that I've learned and grown, you know, in the area.
And then we'll be sending out his bio and the application so that you'll be able to have that information to think with as we prepare for the vote. But I also wanted to accept any nominations from the floor. If you had any nominations or if you yourself wanted to be a member of the board, we wanted to create space for you to be able to raise your hand, put your name in the hat.
Y'all choose y'all.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Okay.
that on that. Because we do have a nomination committee, right?
Yes.
Okay, and I was gonna say, I know we discussed about the staggering, so that every year we won't run into having new leadership. I mean, because what it does is regression. You know, it takes about 1 year to 2 years for leaders to really get set and make an impact. So I know we discussed with Brother John and maybe need to have a meeting of the mind with the committee yeah, to see about staggering. Most boards, they do like a 1, 2, you know, even odd year. And that way it allows you to grow and have some sustainability and contingency. So I just wanted to say that rather than doing it every year, you know, I know most people do go on, but because the way it's not structured, you can have new people every year, you know, and that could be troublesome, especially when you're trying to get to the next step.
Amen.
Good point.
Thank you. Madam Vice President, you had something you wanted to add?
No, she was right. They do give you an opportunity to learn it and pass it on to the next person, you know.
I hear that. And also give you a chance to leave it and pass it on. I'm not the reluctant president, y'all. I joke around, but I love serving the community. I wouldn't have accepted the nomination or accepted the role if I didn't want to do it. And so I really appreciate you all thinking, you know, that I'm worthy of another turn. And so, again, we'll put the slate out. If there aren't any nominations that are coming from the floor, you'll get an email with that. Also, if you haven't updated your membership, I know we need to, that was something you mentioned earlier, Catherine. So we can get your membership paid so that you can actually vote. And we'll be having an election next month. So spread the word far and wide.
At the next meeting?
At the next neighborhood association meeting. But we wanted to create space for that tonight. So that's the election conversation. And now we can do announcements, opportunities, and just open forum. So are there any announcements that haven't been made? We did talk about the neighborhood wellness walk, which is this Saturday.
That's correct.
And then on this challenge, the Keep It Moving challenge. I don't know how many people are in this group nationwide, but it's amazing challenge. So it's a national challenge. Number one team is Team Detroit. And they have 470,000 steps. And Charles Park Neighborhood Association, we got to tighten up, y'all. We at number 74.
Oh,
Hold on. One mic. So we got 74. So we about to show. Okay, so look, she's throwing down the gauntlet. So let's talk about the individual. So Charles Park Association is 74. We gonna do that. Now now we're talking about the individual association rankings, and they put code names in here. So Art Fit Pro, I don't know if that's somebody who's here tonight. They're number one. Organic Chia.
That's me.
All right, number two. Even number two with 183,930 steps. Miss Yvette's number three. She has 150,250 steps. Team Leader, which is Teresa Lynn, she's number four at 140,821 steps. Then we have Benny. I don't know Benny, but Benny is number five. And then your brother John is number six with 116,000.
Wow.
And the barking, the one that has so much to say over there, is at number 7. all barking, no bite. Number 7. And hold on, I'm just saying, like I'm almost double you in steps. So if you want to catch me, you're gonna have to like really jump it up. But anyway.
Okay, my question is this on the honor system? How do you track your?
So what you do is if you have a device like a Fitbit or Apple or some other device, you can link it to your profile.
Right.
If you don't, reach out to Teresa because she has like the logistical information.
Right.
And she can get you that. And then we have Brooke is number 8. Chop Chop is number 9. Mr. Edmond is number 10. I can't pronounce this. Dolce de Canellas is 11. Fancy Nancy 12, and then Red Fox is number 13.
Well, at least
yeah. And so we have 13 people that have participated. And out of the 13,
still sign up.
You can still sign up. You can still join, and it's an exciting challenge. I mean, you see like what we got going on in our household. So you can get with it if you want to get with it. But it's an amazing opportunity.
It really does. It really does make you move.
Yeah, you have to walk.
Yeah, just walk.
Yeah,
I mean,
walking could mean I can walk back and forth in the yard, or that means
you walking. Yeah.
Just get the step.
That's it.
Okay.
The other announcement, your Donis is here. I was going to announce for some breakfast, but.
Oh.
Is that this Saturday?
We do books and breakfast every month, like I mentioned.
Thank you.
Yeah, these are the right ones. It's a new year, so we do have the 2026 calendar. So we do it every month other than December from 11 to 1 right outside of the pavilion. 9 times out of 10 is there if it's booked, and we'll go across the street by the lake or by the pond. So it'll most likely be here. And Sierra is helping with the political education. We're doing talking about Martin Luther King's legacy, and Mr. James Alberg will be presenting. and talk about his 6 principles and things like that. So open to the community, anyone's welcome to join. We'll have child care like activities, things like that. And then here's flyer for the year. So we have the time and location in the front, and then all of the dates between January to November on the back. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. That'll be in about 2 weeks.
And while Dream Defenders has the floor, I just wanted to acknowledge them for the work that they've done. We partnered with Dream Defenders back in 2016 to create the Books and Breakfast program. And so I just want to really just take a moment to acknowledge you for your consistency. This year makes 10 years of Books and Breakfast and Child.
Congratulations. I've only been here since 2021. So it predates me like Jay and AG and.
Yeah. And so, I mean, this is an amazing program. When you look at, how these things start and when you're serving, it's easy to get going, but it's harder to stay going and be consistent for that amount of time. So for 10 years of anything that happened in the community, we really appreciated that. And we wanted to recognize them.
I'll share the picture and we'll have it in our office.
Awesome.
The certificate, we're at the December.
At the December meeting, yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Brother John, speaking of keeping things going and consistency, I want to thank you for all your hard work, Fusion 49.
Yes.
I'm sure you told everybody about the updates and the progress. I'm happy to hear that that's moving full straight ahead. And we are still doing our part over here in St. Pete to try to make sure that the money is put where it needs to be put so that we can start getting things up the roller. So thank you for your hard work there. And then speaking of Gulfport, you may or may not be following the conversation around Lincoln Cemetery, but that is the historic African American cemetery in Gulfport. We're celebrating 100 years this year.
Wow.
I've been trying to work with Pastor Williams because he's been kind of basically coming out of his pocket taking care of the cemetery. But we're going to be hosting another cleanup over there on Saturday from 8 to 11. So please, if you're available, right on 58th Street and 6. Come on out there. We'll have all the equipment you need if you don't have anything, but if you want to come out there and donate, we're looking for gloves, we're looking for trash bags, but it'll be a group of Cub Scouts from a couple of different churches in St. Pete coming out here helping us Saturday from 8 to 11.
That's good.
Awesome.
That's good.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And that actually covers so we have the Fusion 49th district meeting is Monday, February 2nd as well, for those who would like to participate. And then on the 31st, we're partnering with the Eddie Foundation, AEDI. I don't know how that's spelled, Eddie. But it's the Eddie Foundation. I can't think of what the acronym is for. We partnered with them several times throughout the year to do STEM Saturday. And so this year they received a mini grant for the MLK Day of Service. And they came back home to Childs Park, Raphael and Amber Robinson. They were teachers at Doug Jamerson Elementary School, and they started a program where we do STEM Saturdays. So that'll be Saturday, January the 31st from 11 to 2 for youth. It's also on the calendar for you, those who have subscribed. And then we want you to save the date for February 7th for a neighborhood strong committee meeting. We just have to check in and make sure that the facility is available, but we'll do neighborhood strong community meeting on February 7th, and that will conclude the announcements that I have for tonight. Anybody else have anything?
Could I,
Sure.
about the co-op?
Yes.
On tomorrow, One Community Grocery Co-op is having a volunteer open house in Mixer at Enoch Davis Center from 6 to 7. We will be making vision boards, and we're starting tomorrow, every third Wednesday, January 21st. We will have the Making Vision Boards. It's a family-friendly event. Bring a friend. Light refreshments will be provided. So please, we're going to also make Valentine cards for our seasoned neighbors. So we want to be able to do these things. And so we're embodying the co-op principle, number 7, community concern. Community concern. And that's at Enoch Davis Center, 1111 18th Avenue South, starting tomorrow at 6 p.m. Please come out. We will get a grocery store co-op in South St. Pete.
Right, that's right.
So that's every Wednesday, you said? I have one.
We're starting every third Wednesday. Every third Wednesday. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Vice President.
And we are, having a town hall at Dominion the 31st at 11. If anybody want to come out, because it's, for the Black voting rights. This area, South St. Pete, Charles Park area has the lowest in this area voting, people getting out to vote.
From Brother John, may I respond to that
Yes.
real quick? Unfortunately, I responded to Ms. G. I can't make that meeting because of another prior scheduled commitment, but I did schedule a meeting with Julie Marcus to discuss this, so I want you to know that we will be talking.
So tell y'all family and friends to get out and vote, simple.
And the purpose of the meeting is to really advocate for an early voting site in the neighborhood.
That's right. We need that.
So when early voting
We
happens,
really
you know,
do
it's
need to
a big
turn
year.
us down.
The early voting sites have historically not been accessible or easily accessible, I would say. And so we're advocating to have an early voting site at Dominion Worship Center. The Dominion
Worship Center, I think.
Dominion Worship Center.
Mhm.
And so,
We
again, that
we
information
really
is
do.
also on the calendar and it'll be posted on the social media page. as
You
well.
get vote by mail here?
We do.
Good.
And that's another point, that will be included, as well, because with the vote by mail, the rolls have been purged, and so you will need to update your vote by mail.
Yeah.
You have to do that online or go somewhere?
You can do it online.
You can do it online.
You can do it
And
online.
how are they getting that news out? I read the Tampa Bay Times, I haven't seen a word.
Yeah.
They
So-
send it to us in the mail.
Yeah.
They sent you something in the mail?
All the
Yay.
time.
Okay.
Awesome. And then I had something, but I lost the thought, so I won't.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Thank you.
Brother John, you said something about the League of Women Voters too.
Yeah, League of Women Voters, they've been advocating for
Good.
vote by mail and how they can get that
Good.
information out. And sending out some links that you can, use, and we'll include them in our updates as well. It was something good too.
Hope they talk about it at church. All I gotta say, God.
Yeah.
All right, so any other announcements, Q&A, anything else for the good of the order?
Well, on the treasury note, we did discuss at the board meeting to change from PayPal as our membership receiver and dues to Zephy, because there were less dues and, fees, and so that's success. So Brother John and I and Tresselyn volunteered to help to make that transition from PayPal to Zephy.
So we actually keep some more of our money, so it's free. I just sent you a link. I don't know if you got.
Oh, no, I'm
Right.
not on Zephy, so I'll have to.
So we're all set up for it. We just have to transfer the money from PayPal to Zephy.
That's wonderful.
Yep, that's it. All right, well, if there's nothing else for the good of the order, I want to thank those who are tuning in online. I see, I see who's tuning in online, Miss Effie. As well, I want to congratulate the neighborhood and again, the health and wellness team. We've installed our little sunshine pantry. And so, told you it was something good.
Yeah.
So.
Protein bars in there, go look. Good one.
Oh, yeah.
I was looking, yeah.
Wow.
Just to see what was in there.
And so the Little Sunshine Pantry is a partnership with the city of St. Pete's Healthy St. Pete
that's right.
initiative.
That's right.
And we've completed the process.
Right.
We've identified the location, partnered with Dominion as well. There's others who will be helping us to stock it. And so it has been installed. And so I just want to thank you all for that.
So anybody could just put stuff in there, healthy stuff.
Healthy stuff. Let's coordinate with Miss Effie. Miss Effie, if you're online, maybe you can send me your information and then we'll make sure that the group can know how to
And
contact
if you walk further down 12, just immediately to your right, the second house,
Mhm.
there you have vitamins and in a box, vitamins and unopened things for your hands. And all sorts of
wow.
stuff right there,
Yeah.
little green plastic box I noticed.
Oh, that they set stuff out?
They
And
set stuff out through their church.
That's actually I Care St. Pete, and so Kumali and her husband Jose,
They're members, yes.
they're also members of the association, and they have a pantry in front of their house.
Oh, that's not women's vitamins in there.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff. So that was the last thing that I had for real, y'all. Last thing was the last thing. And thank you all for your attendance, participation, what you've done and what you will do. So we're
Thank
gonna go
you.
ahead and adjourn tonight's meeting.
I did call.